Well, hi guys, this is quite exciting and quite scary. I'm going to be doing a live with you now showing you how to build out in Kajabi, how to build out a pipeline for a webinar. And I've already done some videos on this that I've put up into both on this page and over into the Kajabi group, how to clone pipelines, how to do different things, but I've never actually done a live recording. And I'm a little bit prepped, but I'm not totally prepped. So I just thought this might be really useful to you. So the reason I'm doing this is right now I'm in the middle of, you can see at the top of this page, we're right in the middle of running some webinars. I did 2 last night. I've got another one tonight. Somebody reached out to me and said the times just don't work for them in Australia. Is there any chance of me doing a live for Australia? And I thought, yeah, absolutely. In fact, while I'm in the mood of, I'm in the flow of doing these webinars, why don't I just do another webinar? And so the plan is I'm doing that for next Thursday, and I've just been coordinating with a couple of people over time zones. I'm just getting my head around the different time zones in Australia. But we're going for it, and we're going to do it for next Thursday. So that's kind of the backstory, and this, I'm going to show you now how I go about doing this. So by all means, if you're watching along live with me, as we go through this, please throw in any comments and I'll try to keep up and help you. But I just thought, heck, I've got to do this anyway. Why don't I record it? All right. So please, this isn't what I teach. It isn't what I do. Forgive me. It's not going to be the slickest of presentations, but warts and all, this is how I go through creating this thing. So I'm going to flick over and you can see my screen. So that looks like all right to me. The first thing I'm going to do, so these are my, if you're in Kajabi, so this is the current pipeline that I'm in at the minute. It was a little bit complicated actually because I ran 3 webinars, which means that I needed my registration page then split out into 3 other different registrations. Hi Jen. Split out into 3 other different registration pages. I'm not going to do that this time. It's going to get easier because I'm only doing it to 1. Then there were 3 confirmation pages, but what I need to do, the first thing I've got to do now is to clone over these pages. You can't unfortunately clone a pipeline, but you can clone pages. So let me just go back to these. If I jump into this page, in fact, what I want to do, sorry, let's go to pages. So you need to come in a different way. Website, page builder, and pipeline pages. And these are the pages that I've got. So deliberately, when I make these pages, I put a date or something on so that when I'm looking at them in a list, it'll make some sense to me. So this was my registration page. It's going to be a bit different, actually. I've just realizing as I'm doing this. Let's clone that page first of all. So this is before we do the pipeline. Now this might be the downside of trying to do this live, is just the time it takes for all these things to come. So let me just go back to that page because I want to make sure I rename it. It's the first thing I want to do. Michael, hi there, how are you doing? Edit the details of this new one that I've just done and I'm going to rename it. So I'm just going to put OS on the end there for Australia. Okay, registration page. So everything is going to end with this, and I'll just know what I'm doing then. All right, so for now, that's the registration page cloned. Let's go back to our pages. What else have we got? The event is going to need doing as well. I'll do that before we actually build out the pipeline. Don't need these registration pages. Webinar page, we'll have one of those. Clone that. I'm just scribbling notes as I go. I need a confirmation page. Right, that's my webinar page. Jump back, and again, exactly the same thing. Edit the details. Yeah, absolutely, Jen. That's why I've done this. Is you're right. You look at them in a list and you go, "Whoa, sales page, registration page. What am I doing?" So webinar page, us, okie dokie. Let's go back again. I missed out actually the confirmation page. They were in a wrong order for me. But we'll have one of those. Where are we? We're not in pipeline pages. So that was the registration page, confirmation page. So again, over here, clone one of those. Hopefully quicker. There's not a lot in these pages. Yikes. It's probably not helping. I've got that all going on. I'll close that one down for a minute. Right, everything's good there. Good. Back we go. So let's just customize this confirmation page. Right. So they're going to sit out here at the minute in the standalone page area rather than in a pipeline because we haven't attached them to a pipeline yet. I don't know if anybody knows. I get this little spinner thing. It's like a little, it's as if it can't find the image, and I get this spinner thing come up sometimes, which is a little bit concerning. I don't like to see things like that. But now we could and should actually just clone out the sales page as well. Now I might have called it, where am I? Help them in the right place. Registration, confirmation, webinar page. There is a replay page that we need. And then we've got a sales page. That's what I'm just working on at the minute, actually, is getting that replay page done. But me being me, I got a little bit distracted and I'm over here doing this instead. Webinar replay. Webinar replay. At least as well, the fact that I hope this screen is coming through all right. The thing, I can't kind of zoom in or anything on this. So there we go, that's saved. Hopefully that is good enough and clear enough to see. So what have I got left to do? A sales page, haven't I? So it's a little bit clunky back and forth. It'd be lovely to think this could get made easier. If you're watching, Mr. Kajabi. Well, that was quicker than I thought. Right, so let's just take that one back. And again, then sales page. So yeah, you're going to see in a minute, if you haven't realized, you know, I'm taking the time just to label these. Jen's on it. She realizes what we're doing here. If you're not, you're going to find out in a minute what a saving this makes. Right. I think that's all I need for now. It's not a problem if I've missed something, we can come back. We want to go to an event. We've got to make a new event. Don't think I can clone these, can I? No. So this is the last webinar that I've got in here, just to show you this is... So what I need to recreate, that it will take well, it's easier because I'm cloning it. It takes a bit longer if you're starting from scratch, but... So these are, when somebody, this is the event over here. It was, well, it's today, 31st at 5 p.m. And then there's an email that goes out when somebody registers for this. So that's at time of registration, 2 days before the event, 1 day before the event, 1 hour before, 15 minutes before, and then there's the event itself. So I'm going to be able to go into those individual emails and just clone them across. Again, sadly, I can't clone an event that will take them all. That would be amazing. So I might keep this open actually, and what I'll do is in a new tab, let's add an event up at the top there. So this is what I've had in the past, Pro Video Academy with the date, 5 p.m. So I'm just going to put there, what did we say the date was? 7th. Sorry, Rachel's in the office still with me. 7th of Feb. How the heck are we in Feb already? 19. Australia. So when does the event occur? Yeah, there we go. 7th of Feb. So it's actually 11 a.m. for me, I think. Let's get my app here. No, actually 10 a.m. Wonderful little app which is called Time Buddy, that when I can pull in all different time zones. So when I'm looking down here, Perth 6 p.m, Brisbane 8 p.m is 10 a.m. to me. So I'm going to put that one in, 10 a.m. for my time zone. Not going to repeat it. Save that. Okay, so at the minute there are no event actions in here. So what I'm going to do is add an email. So I'm going to jump back to this one here. So at the time of registration, now I'm actually taking this out. So what I'm going to do is, if I look at the source code, I would rather copy the source code because I know that it's getting everything then. So this is my one that's going out at time of event. So the first email over here is at time of registration, sorry. Come down here into my emails, source code, paste that in, and there it appears. Okay. Do need to change that. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave. I'll come back to that. That's a link to ManyChat. I don't really want to get into that one on here as well. That's just an option that I've got in my email. So what did the title say? Thanks, your spot is saved. If anybody wants these, you're welcome to, but I'm certainly not saying these are massively successful over another one. This is just what I've been doing. So 2 days before the event, I'm going to send an email out to people. So I jump back over to the new one, add an email, when. So this is before the event, and I'm going to say 2 days before the event. There you go, it's actually remembered them. So again, I'm grabbing the source code. I'm trying to fly through this because I'm conscious it's all live and it's probably not overly exciting. Source code. At least on the replay of this, you'll be able to skim through it if you want to. So you can see how that's just dropping these in for me. Save that. Next email, 1 day before the event. This says, reminder, don't miss out tomorrow. So I'm going to grab my source code. Again, you see, because I got images and things, it will just bring all these straight over. 1 day before. So add an email. Before the event, I'm going 1 day before. Reminder, don't miss out tomorrow. Source code. Drop that in. Please, if this is too quick, shout or ask me any questions if you're seeing as it's going through. So what have we got up to? This is up to tomorrow. Then we've got an hour before the event that says 1 hour to go. So that's the title I'm going to copy. My source code. Copy. Come on. One hour to go. Source code. Need to change those links as well. We'll get to that later. Add email 15 minutes before. And that says going live now. I think that's that one. Yeah, 15 minutes before. So again, let's grab this. How do I save that? Yeah, it did say there. I want to save it there first. Right, so other than updating that, and I'll make a note of that, links in emails. And we are going to cover, I am going to take you over to WebinarJam as well and show you how I set all that up. So let's come out of the events. Let's actually make our pipeline now. So we're going to create a new pipeline, and I'm not using any of these. We're just going down to a blank one. Create pipeline. What were the last ones called? PVA. Let's go 7th of the 2nd, 2019. It's purely for my records. And it will give me one page by default. The first thing I'm going to do is delete that. Blank page, no thank you, delete. So the first thing we've got to do is add a page, and it's saying an existing landing page, next. And over we go. The first thing we want is our registration page, Australia. Save. Okay, and there it is. Now, before we edit them, let's bring the pages in first, actually. No, tell a lie. What I'm going to do, I've got to change this one around a bit, because on the last one, they all went off to different dates and times. So I'm going to get rid of those. What's that one there? That's the other call to action. Delete that. What I'm thinking of doing is my call to action up here, which was this one. So the button, we're taking that off. Two-step opt-in. I might change this a little bit, forgive me. I'm doing it on the fly. I'm just trying to think. Select your event. Is PVA 7th of Feb, Australia. So it's now linked this up to the event. Okay. And title's the same. Join me live. Thursday, 7th of Feb. What were those times? I'm just trying to see how you, so I've got on here then that it's going to be 6 p.m. So let me get it right. Perth, AWST. Is that how you would normally list that? 7th of Feb, 6 p.m. AWST, 8 p.m. AEST. Is that like Australian Western or an Australian Eastern or something? Yeah, WebinarJam, getting to that. Forgive me, I know you're up late, aren't you? Let's have a look. So that's that bit there. Register here is going to go to the two-step opt-in. This stuff here isn't changing. None of the rest of that is changing. So what I need to do is to we'll do WebinarJam next, is when I come down here, I've got a two-step opt-in, show the pop-up. I don't want it like that, do we? It would be better off in white, I think, but I need to change my text back. Just enter your name and email to secure your spot. Haven't selected a form yet. We ought to do that, hadn't we? What am I doing? Form. Actually, we haven't created a form, have we? Waiting for a video to look. Oh, tell me about it. I've spent about 2 hours this morning uploading. Is that going up to Kajabi? Because I've got a little trick for you if you are. Right, let's do a new form. We're calling it, I'm just going to take that for now, and we're calling it 7th of the 2nd, Australia. So they're all similar. So that's my form, and it's asking for a name and an email. Now, what I did think is that name I could do with, I don't know if I can change this around in here. Maybe not. Here we go. I would rather have first name. Doesn't let me, does it? Or create a new field. No, I'm not getting into that. I'll leave it as it is at name. And nothing by automation. When they fill out this form, then they're going to get registered to an event, which is Australia. Okay, save that. So that's my form done, and I like to have an email sent over, I don't know, wherever that name comes from. So Rachel is going to get an email when I say yes to that. So that's all that's happening, is the form is name, email, when they do it. I also like to tag them as well. So when somebody fills out the form, then add a tag that might say registered. What do I say on the others? Again, I try to keep it similar. Registered for webinar, and then register for webinar 7.2.19. Okay, so anyone that registers is going to have a tag added to them that just, for obvious reasons. So there we go. I can save that. That's the form done. A video up to a Facebook group. Oh, no tricks for that one, I'm afraid. Right, so we're form. Let's go back. Let's just run back a couple of pages. That's not. Yeah, it is. It's opened me up another page, isn't it? So I'm going to edit this now, and what form am I going to? Hopefully that's updated it. There it is, PVA, 7th of Feb, Australia. And the thank you page is going to be the next pipeline step, although we haven't made it yet. Okay, is that looking all right? Does that make sense to you, what I'm doing here? I could just do with... Oh, we can change these bits around afterwards. I wouldn't normally have that green. And I would change the little bar at the top, but for now, this is all right. This is getting us done, and it's getting you seeing what we're going through. So I'm now going to take off that two-step opt-in bit. So there's my page back up. So we have now done, I was going to say as easy as that. It's not easy, is it? But it is a process that you can follow. So now we've got this registration page in, and look, it tells me there that when somebody submits, they're going to get tagged and they're going to get submitted to this event. And this event, because we've already set them up, has got 5 emails in place. Brilliant. Now we need to add a page, which is our confirmation page. Come on. We were. Existing landing page. Confirmation page, Oz. And it's in. Does that need much doing to it? I don't think so. I need to change the dates in that around. There's a little video of me saying thank you. There's a countdown timer, which I think it's associated. No, there you go. I need to change it. Select your event, PVA Australia. So that now is counting down to that. And my date and time is already in. Might be nice actually to change that time. What do you think? I've set it in as 10 a.m. GMT. I might change that over to look more Australian. Then if you want a reminder, this sends you through to ManyChat. So I need to set up another little ManyChat thing, but it's fine for now. I'll just stick a note. ManyChat on conf page. I don't want to spend ages doing that while you're on. So we've got registration, goes to an event, gives us a confirmation page. We need a webinar page. Webinar page. We'll have that one. Now this is where we're going to link up then. So I'll take you over to WebinarJam now. So this at the minute is completely basic, and this is what people did, and I was actually quite happy with this, just to be able to say when it's time for the webinar. In fact, I changed this. All right, for now it will stay like this. This is how I integrated the two, is that up to this point you've seen nothing from WebinarJam, and the reason I don't like WebinarJam is the kind of clunky emails and things they send out and the registration pages that you can't edit. So the whole experience is going through Kajabi. All my emails are going out through them. They get nothing from WebinarJam. The only thing will happen in those early emails when I said to you, the one that goes an hour before and 15 minutes before, it says, click here to join us in the webinar. They're going to land on this page and literally go into this page, click this button, and under this button is a link that takes me over to my webinar room in WebinarJam. Sorry. Okay, fair enough. So it's Jen's just saying it's to do with the time zone will change itself depending on where you are. Brilliant, thank you. I won't bother messing about with that then. So WebinarJam, here we go. If you've used WebinarJam, or if you haven't used WebinarJam, it's very straightforward. I've already got webinars in here. So what I might do is, if I open up another tab here, and I'll try to go through it as if it was new, but what I'm going to do, it makes total sense to kind of copy bits across from the first one. So I'll have this open, but I want to set this up as if it were set it up as if it were a new one. Will it let me have the dashboard open in two different tabs? Yeah. So new webinar. Express configuration. Right. This is in as Adrian Salisbury. Adrian at Adrian Salisbury, and I'm the webinar host. And let's put a nice cheesy picture of me in. Where have I got him? Adrian, there we go. Okay. Webinar name. Now this is where I'm just thinking if I copy across from this, it should keep the thing a lot quicker. Basic configuration. Yeah, but I won't have the number 3. This is for my reference only, so I'm going to put my Australia bit at the end. Then I've got a webinar title. Oh, I'm glad this is making it quicker. Is that copying all of that, do you think? find out in a sec. Yep. Right, so that's the first bit done. That's kind of the presenter, and so we're going to schedule it. So let's put in February the 7th, select a time, 10 a.m. for me in London. Add. Okay, confirm that. This all looking good? We're really not bothered. I'm going to say use your own design in there. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to just tick one of these and save and exit. We're not going to use that page. No one is going to see that, so don't have to worry about it, the registration page. Notification alerts. We are turning all of these off. I don't want anybody to get an email from here. Delete. Okay, so there's nothing in there. Nobody's going to get an email or anything sent out from WebinarJam. Finished. How easy is that? Grab my link. So this is the bit we want. So your links. Invite people to the webinar. Direct link to live room, and it does let me customize this, so I can change it on here to what did I call it? I'm just going to put PVA. No. What did I call the last one? Your links, direct link, Pro Video 3. Oh, fair enough. What do you know? So that just gives me a bit of a tidier link to be working with, and I just need to copy that from there. And that is literally all we're going to do in WebinarJam. Now, when you come to do your webinar, definitely you want to run a test and go through it, and it actually lets you go into the control panel. It'll test everything out for me. If I want to go webinar test, presenter login, live room, over I go. It'll just do a quick test to check that my camera and everything's working. Flying over this. Just because I know some of you might well be interested in this side of it. Enter the room. So this is exactly the experience I would get when this is my side of it when I'm running a webinar, okay? So normally I turn on my camera, and I actually, a little tip, go down to standard rather than HD, turn on my microphone, and I go live. Start the event, yes. And in a test environment now, I am up and running. There's way too much running on my computer right now. Right, you are live. And then what happens is I can see comments over here. That all runs up in this side. I can drop an offer in. So this is an offer that I've got on this one. It's really slick in a webinar. It just appears in front of people. Click here, go over to my sales page. I've got some videos that I bring in as little testimonials. I have them queued up here, and if I hit play video, that will go. And then this is my slideshow. So I've got these open over here. And when I say start slideshow, there it is. And I just scroll my way through, and my camera is appearing down here, but it isn't at the minute because it's Ecamm's using my camera and it's not letting me share it. So there you go. That's a little glimpse inside WebinarJam. I'm going to turn that off because all I wanted was that link down there. And I go back into Kajabi. And under there, we're pasting that in, and as you can see, that ends with Australia. That's my new one that says join webinar, and there we go. So all my emails are pointing people to this page here, and from this page here, when they click join webinar, it's going to take them over to WebinarJam. They will have to just put in their name and email inside WebinarJam, but that's them. They would have to do that anyway. So that's then straight into the webinar. And then what's the next thing? The last thing we've got to do really in here is that's my webinar page. I just want to add in a replay page. And the way I've got mine set up is, so this, I've cloned it, this is the last one, so all I'm going to do is, Jen, this is what I've been doing uploading, is I'm going to upload a new video into this, so WebinarJam will let me have that video, and I can just upload it straight into here, and that's my replay. So the replay, none of that's happening out in WebinarJam, it's all in Kajabi, and then there's a link that goes over to my registration page, which is the next pipeline step. And then what I've introduced as well this time around is my calendar to let people have a 15-minute discovery call with me. So that's all here. Nothing needs to change on that at this stage. Nothing needs to happen pre-webinar anyway, because I haven't got that video. And then the last page is my sales page. There it is. And again, the only thing really, I do have this countdown timer at the top. So I need to go into this and it will say, when does the time want to end? I haven't even thought about that yet. So I need to add a time into that one and a time zone as to kind of when my offer will disappear. Maybe you don't want to have a countdown timer. Again, a link up here for discovery calls. And there it is. That's my sales page there that doesn't need to change. Yeah, I kind of like want to stop the clock and go, how long did that take? 37 minutes. Why have I not got in there? What it hasn't done, for some reason, this offer here, go to checkout page. I don't know why it isn't bringing up. $12-month payment plan. That's right, it should have come up at the bottom, I thought. PVA. Let's get back out to my pipeline a second and just refresh it. Interesting. Add an offer. I thought it would have pulled the offer in. PVA, that's the one I want. So I've added the offer in, offer checkout, and then that's the email that's attached to the offer. We're done. What do you think? Anyone there? Any questions? Jen, you've probably gone to bed. Anything I've missed? All I was saying I do need to do, I mean, I can go back and do it now. By all means, switch off at this point if you want, or come back to me with any questions. While I'm here, I might as well go back through it. Inside my emails, so nothing for those first couple. I don't think I linked to it a day before. Let me just double check. Oh. Yes, I do. All right, that was close. So let me just have a check inside here. So that's going to that URL. What I need to do leave that. I want to just check them in the right place. So I'm asking people to come back to this webinar page. So when I click edit details, that's the link I want. And that's where I'm asking them to come and join me. Okay. Whoop. That means it didn't save. It's because I didn't click down here. Then we've got 1 hour before. Again, I'm just going under that button. Or join us here. I've actually done it as text on this one. I was slightly concerned. Somebody said they didn't have a button, and it made me think, I hope there's not this issue that you've got to have images turned on or something. So I'm not risking it. So 1 hour before you get that link. Oops, click the same one twice. 15 minutes before. Meg, hi, you're on. Hang on, let me come back to your question in a second. I'll just quickly do this before I forget. Save. And save. I'm not surprised I confused people. That was very fast going through that. Links in the emails and then ManyChat. Yeah, I'll sort that. I'm not doing that one on here because I get confused in ManyChat. Sorry, Meg, what have you put? Let me... let's have a look. Let's pull that up over the front of this. I get confused at the replay offer step. How to make sure only certain people get the replay. Ah, right. Good question. Oh, hang on a second. Sorry, let me read that again. Only certain people get the replay and follow up those who see the offer but didn't buy. So what I'm doing is, and I'm doing that this morning actually, is over in WebinarJam, it will give me a list back saying who attended the webinar. So, yeah, Kajabi will tell me how many people went to that webinar page, but it won't give me any stats on them because I haven't had to fill anything out. So I know who registered up front. I know how many people registered to attend the webinar. Then WebinarJam will give me a report that tells me the emails of the people who actually signed in on that page. So remember, on the webinar page in Kajabi, you click that button, takes you through to WebinarJam, and the first thing someone sees is please enter your name and email, and then they're in. So it will give me that list of names and emails, so I can then import those into Kajabi as a group, and as I'm importing them, I can import them and add a tag that says they actually attended, and that allows me. So I can't now use the automation in the pipeline for the emails. I would manually broadcast out to them. So I'm going into my email settings and I'm going to write an email to the people who attended and say thank you for joining me. And so for that, the people I just imported from WebinarJam that have all been tagged saying they attended, they're the only people that I'm going to broadcast that email to. Then what I'm going to do is send another email that goes out to the people who registered but didn't attend. So again, I'm going to go in to do a broadcast in Kajabi, and I'm going to say, send this to all the people who registered, but don't send it to the people who've got a tag that says they attended. Yeah. So it's going to work out the difference between the two, and that sends me out my 2 emails. The other thing I'm doing all the time is adding a tag to these emails that just says, don't send it to anybody who owns the product Pro Video Academy. So if anyone buys at any point, they're going to get knocked out of this pipeline. Does that make sense? Hopefully. I think when you actually look at it in front of you, it's not as bad as it sounds. There was something else in that though that you said. So the only people that are going to get the replay are the ones that you send that email to. So they're the people who registered or the people who attended. Yeah. And yes, and the same as I say, you mentioned there, the people who don't buy. So again, you can just, so it's all, I use tags personally. So whenever somebody, as you saw earlier, when somebody joins a form, I tag them. You can, in your emails, choose people who have attended or didn't attend an event, or who did or didn't register for an event. I just like tags. And I like actually that when I look at a person in my system afterwards, I can just see next to their names the tags that they've got. So yeah, that's how you do it. So Kajabi is doing everything. WebinarJam is just bringing me in that list of people who attended. The other thing that WebinarJam does, which is really cool actually, and my friend Adam told me this, it will actually give you an Excel spreadsheet of the chat, because in the replay you don't see the chat. But it will give me a spreadsheet of the comments people made, who made the comment and what time it was. So what I did last time around, and I'm going to do this time, I'm going to do it today actually, is actually send a personal email to people that were on the webinar who, you know, were really interacting and getting involved. I can group them by their name and see how involved they were. And if somebody says, I'm really interested in this, and I can see that they were saying they're in a fitness studio, it allows me to send a really personal message back and say, you know, hi Jill, thank you for joining me on the webinar. You mentioned that you're in a fitness space. I'd love to get on a call and just talk to you a little bit more about that. Now, you might not want to do that, but that information is there and you can pull it out of the webinar. So you don't have to think, oh, who was it who made a comment about this? So yeah, all good stuff. How many tags have you got? Yeah, I know. And I actually, honestly, I don't know how many tags I've got. And the other thing I find in here is like all the different pages and that. Sometimes I'll do a pipeline and then I'll change my mind, or I'll do something, and it feels like there are so many pages, and me being me just wants to get in there and tidy them out, but I'm scared that if I do that I'm going to end up wiping somebody out, or I'm going to suddenly go, oh, why is that lead magnet not working anymore, and realise it's a form that I've knocked out. So yeah, there's you could do with it something in here that when anything you haven't used for 6 months, delete it. And you're dead right about the tags. But yep, excellent. Well, I think I'm done. Hopefully that's helped you out. There is a nice shiny new pipeline in here. Registration page with the event and the emails, confirmation page, webinar page, replay page, sales page, checkout to the offer. And I'll let you know how it goes. Yeah, I'm the same, Meg. Absolutely want everything neat and tidy. It does stress me out when I see it like this. But okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that. By all means, share it out with anybody else that's in Kajabi and doing this kind of thing. And post away, if you're watching this in the replay, post away any questions, and I will see them. And yeah, hope it's helped you. No problem. Thanks ever so much, Meg. Appreciate you being on here. And I'll just go try and find out how to turn this off now. All right. Thank you.